I would if I did a show, I was in solve pure kerfuffles from a world not beyond.
That's my pathetic sound effect for something or other.
It's better than some you've done, I think.
Yeah. I'm working on it, Always like that guy from Police Academy.
Oh yeah, that guy, man. I'm your host, Lexio. Joining me as always is Canadian Bloody Elbow and Eugene Robinson from Aussie.com and author of Fight. Everything you ever wanted to know about asking, we're afraid you get your asking for asking. Collectively
exposed as a pretender right there.
You've been waiting for that for like eight years.
I know, man. I'm just rushing this intro. I just want to get it over with. That's the problem. I just keep on fast forward. Okay, so Eugene, you're Luke Rockhold.
Mr. Cockhold to you, sir.
Moments after your destruction by Yoel Romero's fists, he took advantage of your concussed state, live in the public, if you will, and kissed you without your consent. Will you be adding your name to hashtag #MeToo?
Oh, baby. Look, you know what? Somebody, I think it was Dustin Poirier, put out there is like, you guys, have no heart. Don't you realize these guys are warriors and lay it on the line? Anybody making jokes about this thing is fucked, and you can. And I waited a bit, like Steve Howe. I remember that Oakland A who had the serious drug problems, and there were these hecklers sitting. They played like the Yankees or something. There's hecklers, New York hecklers, sitting behind their manager, behind his manager, who happened to be sitting behind the home plate. So they're like, "Oh," Steve Howe comes up to bat. They're like, "Oh, hey, we got some Coke for you, buddy. Want some yayo? We got." And finally, they're just so merciless, just railing on Steve Howe. And finally, his agent turns around and goes, "Hey, could you guys just shut the fuck up? Give the guy a break." And they kind of, they're chasing, and they get quiet for like half a second. And then one guy, in very typical fashion, goes, "Who are you? His drug dealer?" And then they start right back in. No mercy. So anybody preaching mercy for guys whose job it is to fight in the octagon, fuck off. Listen, you know how many indignities I suffered today between 9 and 5? The fuck out of here. That's why they call it work. It's his job. He's a big boy. He can take it. That being said, I like that he voted in the same way that infants vote. When they get tired of you, you ever hang out with babies? They get tired. They just look away. That's why, with tough guy society, not looking at somebody is a cause for fucking, what? I'm talking to you. Look me in the eye when you talk to me. So no, he shouldn't add his name to the hashtag #MeToo, which is a funny premise. But the reality of it is he's got bigger things to think about right now, which is specifically, where does the road turn, man? Where does the fucking road turn? He said lots of misty things, misty as fuck in actual fact before. We're 2 down now, man. With Bisping, you could make it. I didn't take him seriously. This was not just a beating. This was a capital beating. He's got bigger fucking fish to fry. People keep saying, "Oh, he'll be back." Some Twitter pros are like, "He'll be back." I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that at all.
What do you know about Nate?
Yeah, I'll just skip that and go. But Luke Rockhold, don't give up on him. Let's not forget.
Don't give up on me, baby.
How many times did I write off Michael Bisping? And then he went on to become the champ and have this glorious title run.
Title run. How long did he hold the belt for?
I mean, he held the belt for, it seemed like, a millennium. And then he ducked the entire division and then lost to a random welterweight walks in the cage. Bisping loses to him, and off we go. I mean, so anything could happen. Like, what's more likely, that the UFC recruits a whole new crop of killer middleweights and we forget all about Luke Rockhold, or they continue to putz along and they're desperate for marginal name fighters and keep giving Rockhold opportunities? I think it's B. So Rockhold's got a big future in front of him, being recycled, propped up. I mean, if you're going to put Jeremy Stevens and Emmett, whose name I can't even remember, on Fox, they've got a big future plan for Luke Rockhold. Come on. I mean, and chicks dig him or dug him. So,
well, you said two different things.
I contain multitudes.
I could give you a bag of dog shit. It doesn't mean that you are prone to taking bags of dog shit.
Is it lit on fire and placed on my porch after ringing the doorbell?
Yeah,
because in that case, I can't resist. I'll be stomping that motherfucker out hard.
But you do realize Rockhold is rich. Okay.
He's rich?
He's rich.
But that's not why they fight. Carlos Condit is rich too. Or his family's got some money.
And BJ Penn is also rich. All that means is that you don't, based on historical fact, you're not bouncing back with the same kind of vim and vigor. You don't have the same kind of fire adding around the mansion. So that's what I'm saying. I could give you a bag of shit. Whether you take it or not is entirely a different thing. And I looked in his eyes. I harrowed his soul. And what I saw is like a guy who was like, you know what? I don't need you. I got better things to do. Like go on celebrity dating shows and such, fuck off.
Oh, he'll be back. These fighters, it's not about money. It's about
BJ Penn's talking about coming back again.
Misty
Chuck Liddell.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Misty as fuck.
Hey, don't stomp on.
Now, Chuck, I think there is a money factor there because he wasn't making these noises when Dana had him in the office. Yeah. It was only when he was cast out that he's suddenly interested in fighting. And I'd love to see him fight Chael Sonnen personally.
Well, it could be everything, right? I mean, because now the guy is separate. I mean, the words. I
gotta call foul because
sinecure. That's the word I'm using. SAT. Go ahead, look it up.
No. You can't interrupt me this many times during my part of this segment and not bring up Nazis. So, and I win. I got the Nazi reference in first. So
you say has bigger things to take on. No, do you mean talk about like light heavyweights? Because like Gustafsson is like,
I think Alex is doing him a solid there, trying to give him some heat and give him something to take his mind off after his breakup with Yoel Romero. Bunk. Come on. I mean, you knew it was coming.
Man,
I said
well, no, because I'm still on the Nazi thing because you mentioned Nazi.
I'm on the Nazi thing.
You mentioned Nazi before the show started. That doesn't count. The other Nazi mention was fucking gratuitous. We could just open it. We could just say that next half an hour, Nazi.
Right.
Nazi.
Nazi.
Gratuitous.
Public if you will.
Sig Heil.
The guy thinks he's David Bowie over here. Sig Heiland, like he's David Bowie. Nobody gets it. I make a 70s reference. It flops. Eugene makes 70s references all day long. People eat it up. It's disgusting.
It's a yellow hat, man. It's a hat.
I'm the man with the yellow hat.
Man with the yellow hat.
Oh, I like that. That's a Curious George reference. You gotta have kids.
There we go. Another.
I had a staff meeting the other day, and they were talking about me doing the parenting column, which I guess I'm going to start doing. And they said, I said, it's kind of weird doing the sex column and the parenting column. And somebody was like, oh, usually you could pull off. I go, no, because the funny thing is.
Isn't that how it happens?
Yeah, exactly. It's costing time. But I go, but the funny part is, once you become a parent, you stop having sex. And all the people with kids in the meeting just kind of go. I had to apologize because they were clearly like, man, that cut a little close to home. But.
Yeah. I mean, you spawn your own cock blockers and they in the house nonstop.
Yep. See, I think is weird about this. The first show I actually pitched to you dudes was a parenting
cock
show.
Blockers. I loved that show.
No, remember? I pitched the show. I said we could talk about parenting and all kind of stuff. I was like, nah.
That sounded a little too Cosby Show-esque for me, man. And that's why
living on the edge, baby, Cosby.
That's why I've been dragging my feet on the column. It's like, what parent's gonna want to listen to me?
Well, it's probably going to be the key to that cherished soccer mom demographic that we just keep on missing on our shows. They don't seem to get it.
You say soccer mom, and I hear 70s wah-wah guitar. Oh, I didn't realize you were going to show up so early. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Speaking about the good old days.
Wait, Eugene interrupted me. I didn't get to say the one fight-related thing I wanted to say, which was Rockhold was like me playing tennis or the time I pitched almost a scoreless inning in softball. It's like he was playing the perfect game. He was way outskilled, but he's doing everything right. And it's just a matter of time before, like he's going to get clowned. One mistake and it's all over.
And he had his the receding hairline exposed too. That's terrible. Like he reveals, he pulls it back. Do you see the photograph? He pulls back and shows the true hairline. Boom! And then right before popping him.
Yeah. Well, and I'd like to take a few seconds here to also take my hat off, which I'm not wearing, to Kid Nate, who had a wonderful first time ever. I was so drunk from having sluiced John Nash time and time again that I was cavalier about my picks this past week.
Oh yeah,
and well, no, I had politics involved, right? So I just couldn't, but I was cheering when Romero won. But I got to live here in Northern California, so I blanked all two of my picks blanked, and that's how much I cared about the fight this past weekend.
But it's important you put your principles first, and we know you believe in nepotism like nobody's business.
Cronyism mostly. I've not hired any of my children for anything yet.
Yet.
Exactly.
They're still in college.
Two of them.
Give it time.
So speaking of time, Nate, you're the UFC. Is your Jingliang Irake reward subliminal messaging of John Jones's return in 2018?
Nice.
Now this question is crazy pants. I mean, now I think it's a clever test marketing to see if there's a market for rough and ready fighting to come back, wherein everybody fights like it's a Mississippi riverboat circa 1820. They grow their thumbnails out. They're just scooping eyeballs, biting off noses, ripping off testicles. I mean, I think that's where we're headed. The Leech. Giving him the fight bonus was, huh?
You might want to reference for folks like what you're talking about.
Well, for those of you who missed UFC 221 or didn't at least stream it somewhere or read about it on Bloody Elbow, dude was it a guillotine he was in? And he's just going to town with both hands on the eye gouging. I mean, this was a I was going to say Gerard Depardieu, but Gerard Gordeau level eye gouge, which those of us what's old school know he blinded Yuki Nakai in one eye in Vale Tudo 95, I believe it was. And you cannot, and the ref missed Li Jingliang doing this and let the fight continue. Jake Matthews was totally, I think, unnecessarily and almost masochistically forgiving of him afterwards. In fact, I'm going to blame the victim for that bullshit right there. You need to call the guy out. If the guy eye gouges you, fucking step up. Don't be one of these silent victims. Get out there and Me Too. He tried to take your eyeballs out by the socket. Stop it. Call it out. But the UFC giving him the fight bonus, man. I mean, yeah, I think they're test marketing. Like, is this what people want to see? I mean, it's one thing when John Jones or Chuck Liddell, they do a little artful, pokey. And there have been some, I mean, they let the eye poke thing go all the way until the refs and the rule makers got together and really started cracking it down. But I mean, it used to be just standard like MMA technique training to just remember, stick your open hand out there and paw for that eye. Because Chuck Liddell, frankly, it can be said now, he rode that to the title. I mean, the eye poke was like right up there with the right hook. I mean, Chuck, that was a go-to move. John Jones, one of the best, but there was no artistry in the Leech's manipulation of this technique. I mean, it was straight up desperation.
Yep.
And I think we should do a Japanese rule style, Pancrase rules. Freestanding eye pokes are fine. No eye pokes on the ground. How about that? Can we compromise? Meet in the middle? Huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember talking to Jake Shields once, and he was talking about his brother is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Is Quinn? No, not Quinn. Sorry, the other brother whose name is now I'm blanking on. And God, that's on the tip. Anyway, it doesn't matter. His older brother, and he said, "Yeah, we rolled together." And I go, "Has he ever get you?" He goes, "I will gouge his eye out before I let that happen." No, he's like, if you were getting choked, you have to assume that this has gone beyond tapping, and you're going for the eye in the face. But you got to understand, as a progenitor of EJJ, which I have to explain to those who listen and then want to compete against me in competition. It's a seasoning, not a meal. You understand what I mean? It's something you do every now and then, not something you do unremittingly for 7 minutes. There are also counters to that stuff. It's like you say, masochistically, Jake Matthews, in my mind, was a prince for not biting his fucking fingers off. And you could just say, I didn't bite his fingers off.
Well, had a mouthpiece on for one thing. You ever tried to bite somebody with a mouthpiece on?
Most of the guys are not fighting with double-decker mouthpieces, right? They're fighting with the single-decker mouthpieces. So you still have those. I could cut your finger. My bottom teeth could cut your finger right the fuck off, and I could just say, "Man, he was digging around. I'm sorry. I'm struggling. I'm sorry. I bit his fucking finger off. What was his fingers doing in my face again? Oh, that's right, gouging my eye out. But I mean, we can't work up too much steam on this in the aftermath. One, Matthews wasn't that pissed off. Two, he can see. And three, Lee lost anyway. So,
Lost the fight, but won some money.
That was my other failed pick. I picked Lee. I don't know why I did that.
Because he's a fun fighter until...
Or like somebody I was sitting
with. That's not fun? Ranking is not fun?
Yeah, well, there's somebody I was sitting with. They said, these guys are fighting like they don't know it's not 2006 anymore, And I was like, that's a funny thing that, that we can qualitatively date fighters. Like they're fighting like they really care versus the guys who are like, yeah, I just got to get to, maybe things will turn around. And
I got my 3 to show.
And I don't know if you saw the Complex magazine piece today, where before it's just been us, right? It's like domestic abuse. We've just been talking how the bald one's been slapping us around, and we don't really like it. And he's not really treating us very well. He's not showing up to Perth. We had the kids' party. He didn't show up, and but finally now a neighbor, somebody outside the community has noticed. Read the Complex magazine piece for how we're just being aced by boxing, and that they're stumbled and fallen and haven't gotten up. Yeah, welcome to MMA of 2018. We are fucked.
Man, make that
average age being 49 years old of the viewer. So much for the claim that we're attracting a younger audience. Shit all over that. Where'd the road turn, Baldwin? Where'd it go? What happened? What's more interesting than showing up and doing your job? I don't know.
Damn. I heard. Was that? Were you about to say something, Nate?
Oh, I'll interrupt him at my leisure, and he'll know it when I'm interrupting him. But it won't be every segment like some people do. There'll be a reason, and I'll have a point.
You sound like Trump. That was very Trumpian.
Oh,
That's a good setup for your heel turn, Nate.
Oh,
the heel turn. This whole thing I've been weighing whether it's the whole backlash, this unremitting backlash with Tyrone Woodley, or the dissing of Nate Diaz. I can't decide which is more aggravated. Is it racist UFC fans? And yet, I don't like Tyrone Woodley either because his fights are fucking boring. I mean, sometimes, well, honestly, even his good fights are not my style. I don't like just the quick knockout. Boom. Like the Robbie Lawler fight. I shed tears of blood because I love Lawler. And a one-punch knockout, I'm sorry, I need more than just the one-punch knockout. And Woodley's fights with Wonder Boy, I'm off topic. That is not the heel turn. But I do find the guy boring. But most MMA fans just cannot forgive the guy for being... I mean, it's not like Woodley's a fucking Black Lives Matter activist. He lives in Ferguson, Missouri. He's somewhat racially conscious. He speaks up, and he calls out the promotion, which Rashad Evans said to stop doing. And then Rashad tries to get in there and say, I used to be the UFC's Tyrone Woodley. And it's like, I mean, you might have been
Black champ nobody liked.
Yeah.
Bobby Short. You think if you know who Bobby Short is, that's Rashad Evans, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not. I mean, Woodley is at least courageous and speaks his mind. I don't recall. Yeah, I mean, unless it's Rashad Evans was early on dissing John Jones. I got to say, the whole two-face line with John Jones was prescient, but not particularly courageous, and it was just standard fight hype bullshit. He did not. Do y'all recall Rashad ever taking on Dana White? No. I mean, maybe taking on, asking if he needed any chores done or whatever, anything I can help you with, boss, but never calling him out. I mean, never, not once. So I think that's a heel turn, although the continued dissing of Nate Diaz does irk the fuck out of me. So I'm sorry I couldn't decide on just one.
Whoa. You mean the bald ones dissing of him?
Yes, the bald ones. I mean, it's like, and it's not, I don't even give a fuck about Nate. Really, I love Nate, but it's the self-defeating aspect of it. It's like the bald one does not want to realize, dude, you could make money with the Diaz brothers. Make some fucking money. Put some fights. People care about the Diaz brothers. They may not be the best fighters in their divisions, but since when? I mean, this is a guy who's out there trying to secretly hype up CM Punk versus Floyd Mayweather nonsense. I mean,
Joe.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like there's no shame. Fucking book the Diaz brothers in some fights and make some money, Dana. That's what needs to be.
You know what I think we're gonna do? I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna attack Ethiopia. Who's with me? In the pantheon of bad ideas, Italy attacking Ethiopia.
They won that one the second time. They won the rematch.
Yeah, okay. How about
an 8-hour occupation? That's why I love Ethiopia. They're like, Italy is like, yeah, it was a fucking 8-hour occupation.
Hey, that's a full work day.
or Hitler, See, that was a natural segue almost, right? Invading Russia. And maybe if you invaded a few months early, I got it. Look, you don't tell me. I tell you. Okay. I'm the decider. Okay.
You are the decider, Eugene,
sir,
of who's in the Lost Battalion.
It's not even fucking funny. It's not even fucking funny, right? I mean, you put people in and you hope that they get out and you start to question whether or not they're really in. The greatest thing about the Lost Battalion is that people who are in the Lost Battalion, they let you know that they're in the Lost Battalion because you hear them screaming. I mean, I'd be remiss. You all know what I'm going to say. I'd be remiss. The wife is not home, so I guess I can say it. Joanna and JJ, are we now what, on the second, third, or fourth excuse for why she lost to Rose Namajunas?
What's the excuse now, Eugene?
You didn't see the news today? The doctor failed me. Not my coaches. The doctor failed me. First, it was a weight cut. And then it was like one other thing I'm missing out on. And now we're turning to the doctors in between her carrying Olympic torches or whatever the fuck she was doing for the Olympics. So, is there a reason you're still talking? Is there a reason you are still talking? Because I can't think. You know how many times a day I say that in jiu-jitsu to guys? I go, is there a reason you're still talking? Like, why are you talking? This is a jiu-jitsu chat room. Fuck off with that. So she was in it before, like the first thing that she said that was misty as fuck. And then she's just doubling down and quadrupling down. It's like maybe she's creating a situation where she has got to win. It's like when you do that thing in Las Vegas and you push all the chips on the one card and go, let it ride. Because that's certainly what's fucking happening. Because if you think they're going to pay her what they had been paying her on the heels of another loss, or if you think another loss to Namajunas is gonna be something that you can explain away with excuses 5, 6, and 7, you're absolutely positively fucking wrong. And in light of that wrongness, it's like when the fire truck goes through your neighborhood and the dogs start to howl. What's that? What's that noise? And who should be howling loudest and longest? Chris Weidman. You got it. I can't even believe we're mentioning his name at this point. I cannot even believe we are mentioning his name. He's talking about himself being in the top 5. He's talking about how it's his time, about how he's the only one who's not had drug problems and the bad. It's like hashtag nigga please. ODB's favorite record. Sorry. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What did you see in that Romero Rockhold fight that led you to believe we should be hearing from you now? Nothing that I could see. Nothing at all that I could see. Who else? Chuck Liddell. I understand if bro needs money, go on Dancing with the Stars again. There's lots of stuff you could do. You got WME at your beck and call. Call up your agent, say, is it something you can got some generic bad guy roles you have? But you know, him fighting Chael Sonnen, it's a possibility, but him broaching the topic and threatening people that he's got no business threatening, like, oh yeah, I could match it with Johnny Boney Johnny. Are you out of your fucking mind? I mean, on the one hand, again, it's pushing all the chips on the number, because on the one hand, if he actually did something like fight Johnny Boney Johnny and won, that would be the craziest. What is that movie with that kid, Rudy? That would be the craziest Rudy kind of finish ever. It would bring back people in droves. It would be fantastic, but that's honestly not going to happen. And then
how is that a Rudy kind of finish? All Rudy did was get to play on the field. Like, it's not like he won the big game.
I never saw the movie, so I'm just going by the poster. Mostly by the poster at this point. And
I had to watch the fucking thing at a Cub Scout camp out in a baseball diamond last year. I was sleeping on fucking AstroTurf, and they played Rudy on the giant big screen until 1:30 in the morning. It was hell.
This is because your kid is a Cub Scout?
Yeah. I mean, it was fun.
That's when you stand up and you say, hey, kid, Cub Scouts suck. Let's go.
Except we were locked in the stadium at that point.
Oh my God! How big was the fence?
Serious. Like, we were on the diamond, locked in, then a perimeter of stairs and the whole bit, and that was locked in.
And so, I bet you were fucking tired staying up all night, keeping your eye on those scout masters. Oh, you just go to the bathroom. What are you doing? Okay.
Nah, it wasn't like that. I just
it's like hanging
took
out
off a Benadryl to kick in. So it's
like hanging around with Priest. Be careful.
Yeah, they've got that. I think Boy Scouts has fixed their problems. They don't let nobody is alone with anybody else's kid ever.
Sure.
It's a pretty simple policy, and I think it's effective.
And also,
and also, I'm constantly fucking there and will kill. Yeah. So it's like.
And also, I have to say, and this is something that I'm going to have to be fairly. This is the third piece of my Lost Battalion pie here, but I'm going to have to be kind of circumspect about it. But Malky was quoted
95%, baby.
95%, and it's not so much that Malky has said that 95% that Johnny Boney Johnny is correct, because I think Johnny Boney Johnny is in the Mad Max position, right? I mean, we can all comfortably agree that if the UFC wants to do anything for 2018, they got to go through him. But the fact of the matter is, how do I say this? The wellspring of difficulty, the locus point that Johnny Boney Jr. has aided, abetted, and enabled his bad behavior. Johnny Boney Jr. is still connected to those guys. So Malky coming out and saying 95% sure is as lost. It's the agent's version of lost battalionage, because unless you take active and aggressive steps to separate him from the bad influence, you are looking at a future that was very much like your past. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting another outcome.
I mean, that's what it is. 95% chance we'll be back. 99% chance he'll be out again.
Right. I mean, but the reality of it is, it's like, it is the agent's version of Lost Battalion. The lack of awareness. I mean, maybe he is aware and it's just his job at this point. But given that it's just his job, wouldn't his job be much more effective if he somehow got the boats going in the right direction? I mean, a guy who puts on his tax form that he's a fighter but does no fighting, while it's a good scam, is not a good business fucking model. So however, I guess an unemployed agent can't do much either. So
exactly, man. Thanks for joining us. Follow us on Twitter, Eugene S. Robinson, Lexi on Kid Nate, Facebook at MMA Pancholes. Please give us a thumbs up, Eugene.
Yeah, that's what we forgot at the top. We forgot Pancholes at the top.
No, yeah, I think I might have stumbled and stuttered through it.
That's because you had Kid Nate stepping all over your shit, so that's what happened.
I didn't come in until after he fell on his face, and then I just did the Friday thing.
And the fact that you just mentioned it again, boy, that's like.
And I was accusing him of hitting the sauce.
Oh yeah, that was like Eugene Jiu-Jitsu. I liked it. Like when you stand up from the mat, and you put your hand all over the guy's face as you stand up.
Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube, MMA Nation on iTunes. Visit Bloody Elbow. Buy 7 Secret Source Inspiration.
Nice.
Buy Oxford's Thin Black Duke wherever fine music is sold. And immediately following this show, be sure to check out our new non-MMA show. It's not new. It is. It's newer than this show. If the shoes fit. Eugene, how do they do that?
Right below this picture of my face. If you look, you'll see a link that you can click for if the shoes fit. We're going to log out of this show and within 90 seconds log back into that other show. Can you follow that? Can you click, follow. 90 seconds, we're over there. We'll see you there. Don't get confused. Don't wander off. I thought it was Tuesday. No. Come in 90 seconds.
That's right. And we'll be back next week for another installment, If I Did It. And we don't know what we're going to be talking about yet because of PR mistakes have yet to be made.